when I'm dating because I have 5 kids, you know? And then when I start dating and getting on the apps and shit, I realize that my children actually aren't the fucking problem. And that I shouldn't be insecure because I have children. Because honestly, I deserve so much better than what these dating apps have to offer. And I deserve so much better than the men that I'm surrounded by that I refuse. I fucking refuse. And like some men.
The audacity of some of these females that just come on here just talking about what they deserve. But you got all this luggage and you expect the man to come in, protect you, provide for you and your kids. And what do they get at the end of the deal? For her to let me let her let her say what she said.
Will be like, oh, like you should feel thankful that a guy looks in your direction because you have five
Yeah,
kids. Um,
yeah.
your mom raised you wrong, and I would rather die alone.
Uh, is this is what the best y'all could do? Y'all quit to go to the your mom. Your mom raised you wrong, who hurt you, and all that. Where did that come from? Just because a guy has standards, y'all can have standards, and it's supposed to be legitimate. But when a guy comes with standards and has value about himself, it's all who hurt you or he's just gay and all this kind of stuff. Where do they do that at? Y'all women minds are really not all of you, not all. Some of you women minds are just y'all are delusional, man. Y'all come with all this baggage and these problems and this attitude and expect I got this to pick up what you got, just go along with your program. That's not how it works. And that's why a lot of you women are single today because y'all are putting so much uh y'all putting so much demand on the guy that it's supposed to just go the way you want it to be. But a lot of simps out there that are willing to do all this work though. Salute to them.
With a goldfish than to settle
But she
for a
said,
man like you. Um, your mom raised you wrong, and I would rather die alone with a goldfish
that's a plan.
than to settle for a man like you. Baby, no. I don't care. 5 kids and all. I don't care. I'm not settling. I refuse. I refuse. I deserve a man in finance, 6'5", trust fund, blue eyes as well. You know what I mean? These moments of
I don't know blue eyes you gonna run up on is maybe the context you may put in your eyes or something, because I'm assuming the blue eyes she's talking to the Caucasian race or something like that. They may have you. I notice a lot of the guys they'll date you, but they're as far as if it come to marriage, if you're looking for anything more than that, then no, that 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 won't happen. Um, she's delusional. 5 kids. She deserved such better in life, and salute to her. Nothing wrong with what she want, but in the market today, she ain't gonna get. She ain't getting that. So whatever on that one though. The audacity for this woman.
Know that there's a backstory to a backstory. All right. And if you care, you can continue listening. If not, you can continue to scroll, okay? Because neither what it doesn't make no difference. All right. So now, this whole thing started back in 2006. All right, when I was 17 years old, and I met my first baby father. Okay, I was 17. He was 23, and yeah, we dated for I didn't think I don't even think you could call it dating because like we met and I wasn't initially like attracted to him. Like I wasn't like trying to really go there with him or whatever. Like not to say he was ugly because I didn't think he was ugly or anything. It was just something about him that was like that didn't initially pull me in. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, some months passed, a couple months passed or whatever, and then I ended up
Hear the kids in the
giving him a
background.
chance. That chance turned into some full blown intense me living with him, and then a few months later I ended up getting pregnant, and he turned out to be very abusive and manipulative and a whole bunch of other nonsense.
this is what get me about some of these females. Y'all are quick to say, abusive and all that. And like I said, I never would advocate anyone stay in abusive relationships, especially when it's physical and things of that nature. Y'all do, they each need to go in their separate ways. So with that being said, y'all know some of these guys are like that before y'all even get with them. Y'all know about it, especially if y'all in these towns, you go out here and there and y'all still put yourselves in these situations but y'all quit to talk about what kind of guys are out here. Y'all attract what you are. A lot of you don't want to admit it, but that's just basically what it is. Y'all attract what you are. And that turns you on for these street guys to come up on and just sweep you off your feet. They flash material things, money and all this type of stuff. The watches, the clothes, the cars, all that. And y'all just flatter yourselves with these material things. But yet still you come on here about there ain't no good men, and you just end up, you lay down with the guy, and it takes two. So you never think about taking him to plan B or be on birth control or conceptive or something like that. Y'all just go along with the get along. But then y'all come on here on the daily and talk about guys. It doesn't make any sense.
But my breakthrough came when he got locked up and I was able to get away. Okay. And I was on my own basically for the next 7.5 years with my son until I met my ex. Okay. The one who I spent almost 10 years with and got, 4 more kids with pretty much. So, yeah, when my son was
so wait. So she got 4 more kids by her ex. The first guy she got a kid with, he went to jail. So now she went back to her ex and got 4 more kids by him. Shit, they should have just went here and got married. She had 1 by the first one. She had 4 by, so that's 5 kids with her. So she should have just went here and just married him, obviously. So, and they knew each other, 10 years ago or something like that. This is the type of thing. And yet still, they hold us to a standard where we're deadbeats and all this kind of stuff. Where's the accountability for the women? There's nothing they ever do is never wrong. But they get cheered on and you go, girl, or he's nothing. You could do bad by yourself. They get all this, but not once a woman will ever hold each other accountable for anything. They're always being pat on the back and being rude. You could do this and you could do that. And I'm gonna read the comments, a little further on in the video, because she got to put it on video. I'm not gonna play it that much, but she goes on about the kids. I'm gonna let her get to it.
Well, no, 7.5 is when I had my daughter. I met him when he was 6. I met my ex when my son was 6, and we was together, whatever. And then
that's when the first guy.
Come to find out, I am fertile, but because I wasn't reckless like that, thank God, I didn't have to experience that because, like I said, I wasn't being reckless. But when I decided to want to lay down and do that type of stuff, it was happening. So, started having more kids. I had my daughter when my son was 7.5, and then me and my ex's relationship turned out to be very tumultuous and very, very ghetto and draining, to say the least. But I stuck it out because I didn't want to be now a single mother of 2 children with 2 different baby fathers. You know what I'm saying? And, I wanted to try to make it work this time, especially with the fact that he wasn't like the first one. So, I thought maybe it could turn out a little bit better this time. But shortly after I had my daughter, I got pregnant with twins. So that's when, it was just like, it was piling on, what I'm saying? It was getting thicker. So yeah, walking away at this point was definitely like, what are you talking about? And that just wasn't happening at that time. So, I had my twins, and then after I had my twins, I had my last girl. So basically my 4 girls, my first girl was born, and then my twins was a year and a half later, and then my last daughter was a year after the twins. The only gap I have is with my son. So
Uh, I want to. Did she think about ever having any birth control? Was she ever on any birth control or something of that nature? Because 5 kids, and if you married, that's one thing, but to be running the streets and have this and equipped to, and she's not really doing too much of complaining. You know, she kind of seems that she's holding some sorts of accountability, far as not blaming the guy or whatever, like most females do. She knew what she was getting herself into when she got in that situation, obviously, but still, the fact remains. Uh, you know, she's having kid after kid after kid, knowing that she's in a relationship is running to a dead end at some point, but she still choose to keep continues to have kids. And then that's why they run to this government assistance, because they know they're going to have their back. They're going to get all these stipends and this stimulus, as far as them getting, as far as housing, food, and all that. And I wonder how she's providing for them. You know, that, I mean, they put it out there on the internet. Why can't we make judgment calls, or not judgment, but as far as, you know, opinions, I should say. But yeah, it just baffles me, man. It baffles me.
yeah, that's basically what was going on in my last relationship, and most of that time was spent with me like being pregnant and taking care of babies, and that put a lot of strain on our relationship as well. I'm not here to bash him. That's not my thing, because at the end of the day, we all individuals and we all have our limits on what we can handle. Hold on. So yeah, basically, like I said, I'm not here to bash him or anybody. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we held on to it for as long as we could. Well, he was gonna stay. I'm not gonna hold you. Like, I am the one who ended the whole relationship. Like, I'm the one who told him to leave, because I know if I didn't do that, it was gonna continue.
Of course you did. You know, a lot of times, you know, females have run across good guys that's really for them, but they just turn them down because they get bored. They're uh they're not emotionally intelligent. Uh, you know, all kind of words they make up on the daily. And you know, it's unfortunate because the kids are the only ones that's really suffering through that shit. She can't even find a job if she wanted to. She got so many kids, and then the alone that she do, who's gonna take care of the kids? All that comes in the factor, but none of that is thought of once lay down, or you got it in the air, and you know 9 months later, here you go, and 5 of them, it's that's pretty much a wrap, and there's no value to the next man when you run up on them. So what is there you can really offer a guy if he's really wanting to go down that path with you? But a lot of you ladies, um, not all, but most of more than 50%. I'm gonna say that. But and some guys, hold them accountable as well too. Because some of them out there just really playing the field, and some of them a lot of really, just doing what they do. But I don't know, man. But her video goes on. I want to see what her comments was in here. It got you got some simp in here, no judgment, but do all of the children have the same father? And what are the ages, oldest to youngest? Your beautiful, good spirit. Feel free not to answer. She hearted, but she ain't answer none. She better not. But if you look at the video, she already said that it was two fathers. One went to jail, the other one she got rid of. So the other one, you don't have to explain yourself, sis. I would love to hear natural beauty, stay strong. You see what I'm saying? This is the type of stuff that they get. No accountability whatsoever. Good for you, mother. Much respect to you, sis. Peace. I admire your emotional intelligence. This is man, this is absurd. This is absurd, man. But there's been a guy with 5 kids, And it would have been bashing all in the comments. You don't believe in rubbers? You don't believe in, it's crazy. But yet again, women never get any pushback. They're always the queens and the sis and the goddess, you know. But anyway, y'all let me know, man, what y'all think about the women that feel like they deserve. Now, she didn't really too much say about deserve having a guy, whatever, but obviously, you know, she's looking for it, man. She got 5 kids, but she know what it is as far as relationship wise. She just pretty much is winging it. That first one was just on some diabolical shit. So, you know, she just gonna buy fish and dog, cats, whatever, and just die alone because ain't nothing happening with her. Her attitude just it's too masculine. But anyway, y'all leave a comment down below and y'all tell me what y'all think, man. So I'll catch y'all next video. I'm out. Peace.